My beloved child, come and sit with me, for we must talk about your future. I have watched you as you have looked toward the horizon of your coming days, and I have seen that your eyes are not filled with joyful expectation, but with a quiet and settled dread. You have listened to the songs of my kingdom. You have heard the sermons about the glories of heaven, and in your great and profound weariness, you have made a sorrowful peace with a terrible and pervasive lie. You have come to believe that all of my goodness, my tangible joy, my manifest peace, my visible restoration, and my public vindication is a reality reserved only for that future, heavenly shore. You have fully and finally resigned yourself to a life of grim endurance on this earth, your only true hope being the final relief that will come when you die. The voices of well-meaning people around you have often reinforced this belief. Seeing your long and unexplained suffering, they have tried to comfort you with promises of the afterlife. Just hold on. They have said with sincere pity, it will all be worth it in heaven. Lay up your treasures there. And they, with the best and most loving of intentions, have inadvertently encouraged you to give up on this life, to see it as nothing more than a sorrowful prelude to a glorious eternity. They have taught you to accept your earthly suffering as your permanent lot. And so you have quietly and with a heavy heart stopped praying for breakthrough now. You have stopped expecting joy now. You have ceased to ask for victory in this land of the living. You have looked at the unrelenting hardship of your earthly existence. You have compared it with the promises of my word. And you have concluded that there must be two separate realities, a reality of pain and lack for your time on earth, and a reality of joy in abundance for your time in heaven. You have accepted that this world is only a land of testing and sorrow, and that the true land of the living is a place you can only reach after you have first passed through the gates of death. But my beloved child, this resignation, while born from a place of deep pain and therefore understandable, has grieved my heart more than you can know, for it is a profound misunderstanding of my character, my desire for you, and my ultimate purpose for my children on the earth. You have believed that you must wait until you die to see my goodness. But I have come to you today to awaken a new and living hope within you, to overturn this theology of despair, and to declare truth that will change how you view the rest of your days. You have given up on this life, but I have not. I have not abandoned this world to the enemy, and I have not abandoned you to a life of mere survival. My ancient promise, spoken through my servant David after he had endured his own season of profound suffering, is my living and active promise to you today. You will see my goodness in the land of the living. Before we can build this new foundation of hope, we must first examine the faulty foundation of your hopelessness. You have constructed an entire theology around your pain. It is a noble sounding theology, one that even seems spiritual on the surface. It is a theology that says that suffering on this earth is a mark of true spirituality. It says that to desire earthly blessings, such as a joyful marriage, a healthy body, a prosperous work, or a peaceful home, is somehow carnal or worldly or unholy. It is a theology that spiritualizes lack and sanctifies misery. But I tell you the truth, this theology was not born from a true revelation of my heart. It was born from the heart of your own deep and unmet disappointment. It has been a shield that you have used to protect your heart from any further disappointment. If you do not hope for anything good in this life, you can never be disappointed again. But that shield, while it has protected you from pain, has also become a dark and lonely prison, locking you out from the very joy, victory, and abundant life that my Son came to give you, right here and right now. I want to walk with you now, with great tenderness, through the slow and painful death of your earthly expectation. You did not start here. I remember the younger you, the you whose prayers were vibrant and filled with a bold and expectant faith. You prayed with confidence for the good marriage. You prayed with certainty for the healthy body. You prayed with vision for the prosperous and influential work. You asked, you sought, you knocked, fully expecting the doors of earthly blessing to be opened to you. But then came the long, unanswered years. The sickness lingered. The loneliness persisted. The finances dwindled. The ministry failed. And with each new wave of disappointment, a small death occurred in your heart. One by one, you began to perform quiet funerals for your earthly dreams. You let go of the hope for a loving spouse. You let go of the hope for a thriving career. You let go of the hope for a healed body. And you told yourself, with a heavy and resigned spirit, that this was an act of holy surrender. You told yourself you were dying to yourself and setting your mind on things above. But I, who know your heart, knew that it was not the death of your selfishness. It was the slow, tragic death of your hope. You had not surrendered your dreams to me. You had surrendered them to your despair. And this resignation has produced bitter fruit in your life. It has manifested as a pervasive, low-grade joylessness, a gray film that covers everything. It is manifested as a deep and profound passivity, an unwillingness to make long-term plans or take new risks, because you have been conditioned to assume that they will only be disrupted by more pain. It has manifested as a survivor mode mentality, where your primary goal is no longer to thrive, but simply to get through another day without any fresh disaster. And if you are honest, it has manifested as a secret and painful envy toward those who seem to be walking in my goodness and blessing in their lives now. You see their joy, and it feels like a rebuke to your own sorrow. And you quickly suppress that envy with a layer of guilt, for you know it is not a holy feeling. My child, I understand all of this, but I have come to set you free. The core of your misunderstanding is this: you have come to believe that this life is only about your character being tested for a future reward. But that is only half the truth. My desire is not just to prepare you for heaven. My desire is to bring heaven to earth through you. My Son did not teach you to pray, "Take me away to your kingdom." He taught you to pray, "Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." I desire to use your life here in this land of the living as a living, breathing, and undeniable testament to my goodness, my power, and my extravagant kindness. How can a skeptical and watching world believe that I am a good God if the lives of my own beloved children are filled with nothing but unresolved sorrow, perpetual lack, and grim endurance? My own reputation is at stake. I desire to show off my love for you, not just in the secret councils of heaven, but here, now, in front of the watching world. You thought your suffering was only earning you a greater reward in heaven. And it is true that your faithfulness in trial is creating up for you an eternal weight of glory. But that is not its only purpose. I also intended for your suffering to build your capacity to handle a greater blessing and a greater authority on this earth. You thought your resignation was an act of holy surrender to my will. But I see it as a sad and tragic acceptance of the enemy's will for your life, which is to steal, kill, and destroy. My will for you is life, and life to the full. You thought this life was just a dress rehearsal for the real show in heaven. But I intend for this life to be the grand stage where the glorious first act of my redemptive goodness is powerfully and visibly displayed for all to see. So I am calling you today to a holy awakening. I am calling you to repent, not of a great sin, but of your deep and pervasive hopelessness. I am calling you to renounce the theology of despair that has been your comfort in your prison. I am asking you, with all the love in my heart, to dare to hope again, not just for the life to come, but for the life you're living right now. The psalmist David, a man who knew suffering and disappointment as well as anyone, after being pursued, betrayed, and driven into the wilderness, declared this great and defiant truth. And it is my word to you today, I would have despaired, unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That is my promise to you. That is my will for you. And that is the future that awaits you. And now that you understand my heart and my desire for you, we must speak of my kingdom and how it is not just a future, heavenly reality, but a present and powerful one, waiting to break into your life right now. You have now heard the deepest desire of my heart for you. My beloved, you have begun to grasp truth that my promise is to show you my goodness, not only in the distant glories of the life to come, but here, now, in this very land of the living. But to truly embrace this hope, to make it the unshakable foundation of your future, you must allow me to correct a profound and foundational misunderstanding you have held about the very nature of my kingdom. For my kingdom is not only a future destination for your departed soul, it is a present, powerful, and invasive reality that is meant to break into your world today. For so long, you have been taught to see my kingdom primarily as a future hope, an eschatological reality. You think of it as heaven, as the New Jerusalem, as a beautiful and perfect place you will go when you die. And this is true. It is a future more glorious than your mind can currently conceive, and it is your guaranteed inheritance. But by focusing only on the then and there, you have tragically missed the power, the purpose, and the promise of the here and now. You have treated my kingdom like a far-off, celestial country that you will one day immigrate to, rather than seeing it as a present and powerful kingdom of which you are already a full citizen, with all the rights and privileges that entails. You have been living like a spiritual exile, waiting for a future repatriation, when I have been calling you to live as a royal ambassador of a kingdom that is already at hand, when my own son, the king of this kingdom, first walked the earth. What was his primary message? It was not, endure this life, for heaven is coming. It was, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It has arrived. It is near. It is accessible. And when he taught you, his disciples, how to pray, he gave you the very blueprint for my will, the strategic plan for humanity's partnership with heaven. He did not teach you to pray, Father, rescue me from this terrible earth and take me away to your kingdom. No. He taught you to pray with a bold and world-altering authority, your kingdom come. Your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. My child, that was not just a nice, religious sentiment. That was a declaration of war. That was a prayer of divine invasion. It is my heart's deepest desire to take the tangible reality of heaven, its perfect peace, its overflowing joy, its vibrant health, its limitless provision, its culture of unconditional love and honor, and to manifest it on the earth. And what are my primary vessels for this glorious invasion? It is the lives of my beloved children. Your life is meant to be a beachhead, a landing zone, an embassy of heaven on earth. I long to display my glory on earth. Hey, and you are one of the primary stages upon which I intend to do it. So let us speak of what it means for my kingdom to come into your land of the living. Let us consider heaven's economy versus earth's economy. The economy of this fallen world is built upon the principles of scarcity, fear, competition, and anxiety. It tells you that there's never enough, that you must hoard what you have, and that your value is determined by your net worth. It is a system that produces constant stress and striving. But in heaven, there's no lack. There's only abundant, overflowing, and inexhaustible provision. The very streets are paved with gold, and the gates are made of pearl. This is not just a poetic image. It is a picture of my infinite resources and my extravagant, generous nature. My will is to bring the reality of heaven's economy into your life. This does not always mean you will be wealthy by the world's standards, but it does mean that I desire to be your Jehovah Jireh, your supernatural provider. It means that I want to teach you to live with a deep, settled trust that I will meet all of your needs according to my glorious riches. It means that as I provide for you, I want to transform you from a person who lives in the fear of lack into a person who lives with a spirit of radical generosity, knowing that you are a conduit for my resources, not a reservoir. Your financial life is not meant to be a source of constant anxiety. It is meant to be a powerful testament to the world that your Father is a good and faithful provider who takes delight in blessing his children. Let us consider heaven's health versus earth's sickness. The reality of this fallen world is one of decay, disease, pain, and death. Sickness attacks the body, and anxiety, depression, and trauma attack the mind and soul. But in heaven, there's no sickness. There's no pain. There are no tears. Every body is perfectly whole. Every mind is perfectly sound. And every heart is perfectly at peace. My will is to bring this reality of heaven's health into your life. Here and now, my son, when he walked the earth, spent a great portion of his time healing the sick, the blind, the lame, the deaf, the lepers. He was demonstrating a fundamental truth: sickness is an invader from the enemy's kingdom of darkness, and health and wholeness are the will of my kingdom of light. And he is the same yesterday, today, on forever. I want to demonstrate my healing power in your body, in your mind, and in your emotions. Not just to make you feel better, but to make your very being a living testament to my restorative and life-giving power. I want people to look at your restored health and say, this is the work of God. Let us consider heaven's relationships versus earth's relationships. As the world is filled with broken relationships, it is a landscape of betrayal, of misunderstanding, of conflict, of strife, and a profound, aching loneliness. But in heaven, all relationships are perfect. Every interaction is governed by perfect, selfless love, by mutual honor, and by joyful unity. There is no strife, no betrayal, no loneliness. My will is to bring the reality of heaven's relationships into your life now. I want to heal your broken heart from the wounds of your past. I want to teach you how to love and forgive others with the same radical, unconditional grace that I have shown you. And I want to surround you with a divine community, a family of believers who will love you, honor you, and cherish you. This community is meant to be a taste of heaven on earth, a powerful witness to a world that is starving for true intimacy and authentic connection. Finally, let us consider heaven's atmosphere versus earth's atmosphere. The very air of this world is thick with anxiety, with fear, with turmoil, and with the constant, stressful noise of the enemy. But the atmosphere of heaven is the very air that I breathe. It is thick with my peace, vibrant with my joy, and filled with the beautiful sound of constant worship. My will is for you to become a carrier of heaven's atmosphere into every room you enter. I want to so fill you with my supernatural peace that it literally leaks out of you and calms the emotional storms in your home, your workplace, and your relationships. I want to so saturate you with my unspeakable joy that it becomes an irresistible source of strength for you and an attractive, baffling mystery to those around you. Your life is meant to be a portable embassy of heaven, a small patch of my kingdom that changes the spiritual climate wherever you go. Therefore, you must change the way you pray and the way you believe. Stop praying prayers of weary resignation that accept the broken status quo of this world. Start praying prayers of holy invasion. Pray for my kingdom of health to invade your body. Pray for my kingdom of abundance to invade your finances. Pray for my kingdom of love to invade your relationships. Pray for my kingdom of peace to invade your anxious mind. And then you must begin to expect to see these things. You are not just a saint waiting for heaven. You are a world changer, a kingdom bringer, an ambassador of heaven, commissioned and empowered to demonstrate my goodness in the land of the living, for my own glory, and for the sake of a lost and hopeless world that is watching you. I am determined to make your life a sign and a wonder. I will make your life an undeniable preview of the full reality of my kingdom that is to come. And it will make them hungry for the God you serve. You have now opened your heart to the glorious truth that my kingdom is not just a future, far-off destination, but a present and powerful reality that I desire to manifest on this earth through your very life. I know this truth likely fills you with a new and unfamiliar hope, but I also know that it raises a deep, painful, and very logical question within your soul. You look back at the long, barren landscape of your past suffering, and you ask me, with a sincerity that pierces my own heart, my Father, if you have always wanted to bless me and show your goodness through me in this life, then why the long years of suffering? Why the pain, the lack, the loneliness, the unanswered prayers? Why would a God who wants to display his goodness on earth allow his own child's life to be such a testament to hardship? You have, in your noble attempt to reconcile your pain with my goodness, come to believe that your suffering was merely a test of endurance, a series of difficult exams designed to earn you a greater reward and a more glorious crown in heaven. And it is true, my child, that your faithful endurance has stored up for you an eternal weight of glory that is beyond your comprehension. But that is only half of the story. To believe that your suffering was only for your future reward in heaven is to miss its profound and immediate purpose for your life right now. Your trials were not just preparing you for a crown in the next life. They were preparing you to occupy a throne in this life. We must now talk about how your suffering prepared an earthly throne for you. I know how you have seen yourself. You have looked at the landscape of your own heart, scarred as it is by the battles you have endured. And you have seen yourself as a wounded soldier, fit only for a quiet retirement from the front lines. You see your scars as marks of failure and weakness, not as a resume for leadership. You cannot imagine how your long season in the ashes could possibly have prepared you to sit on a throne of any kind. You feel that your suffering has disqualified you from any great earthly purpose, but you are looking at your suffering through the world's lens, which sees pain only as a destructive and diminishing force. But I, the King of Kings, see it as a divine and necessary forge. I have not been preparing you for a quiet and peaceful retirement. I have been preparing you to reign with me in delegated authority in your specific sphere of influence. In this life, your trials were not just for a crown above. They were for a throne below. For you must understand a great principle of my kingdom. I can only entrust my manifest goodness and my divine authority to a character that has been proven able to handle it. And such a character can only be forged in the crucible of suffering. Your trials were the necessary prerequisite to build in you the capacity to handle the very goodness I am now about to release into your life. Let us look at how your specific sufferings have forged in you a specific capacity to reign. You have endured the searing, soul-crushing pain of betrayal. You have been misunderstood. You have been slandered. And you have been abandoned by people you trusted and loved. You have seen this wound as something that would make you forever fearful, cynical, and incapable of leading or trusting others again. But in my divine alchemy, I have used that very fire to forge in you the heart of a truly wise and compassionate leader, because you have intimately known the pain of being betrayed. You will now lead others with an immense and authentic compassion. You will never treat people as pawns on a chessboard, because you have known the sting of being misjudged. You will be a leader who is quick to listen and slow to speak, one who always believes the best about others, because your own trust was broken. You will be a person of profound and unshakable integrity, one who is worthy of the trust of others. The betrayal that you thought had disqualified you from all meaningful relationships has, in fact, perfectly qualified you for true, wise, and compassionate leadership. It has forged in you the heart of a true shepherd. Who knows the pain of the sheep? You have walked through long and frightening seasons of financial lack. You have known the gnawing anxiety of not knowing how the bills will be paid. You have endured the humiliation of having to ask for help. You have seen this as a sign of my disfavor, a season of shame. But I was using that season to forge in you the character required to handle true abundance. In your poverty, you learned so many never learned. In your very bones, that I am your only true source. You learned to depend on me day by day for your daily bread. You learned to be profoundly grateful for small things. You learned the critical difference between a need and now I begin to release my provision, my abundance into your life. You will not fall into the traps that destroy so many. You will not become arrogant or self-reliant. You will not begin to trust in your riches, but will continue to trust in the giver of those riches. You will not be a prideful owner, but a humble, grateful, and profoundly generous steward. Your season of poverty was my divine training ground to make you a person I could trust with true wealth. You have known seasons of complete and utter powerlessness. You have been in circumstances where you had no control, no influence, and absolutely no human ability to change your situation. You felt like a helpless victim, trapped by the decisions and the power of others, but in that place of absolute helplessness. You learned the great and glorious secret of true kingdom power, the power of complete surrender to me. You learned that my strength is not just a nice religious idea, but a living reality that is made perfect in your weakness. Now, as I begin to entrust you with real spiritual and natural authority, you will wield it in a way that is completely foreign to this world. The world's leaders use their authority to control, to dominate, and to build their own kingdoms. But you, having been schooled in powerlessness, will wield your new authority with humility, with gentleness, with a servant's heart, and with a constant awareness that the power flows through you, not from you. The long, painful season of your powerlessness was my master's degree program for how to handle true kingdom authority. And you have endured the long trial of obscurity. You have felt hidden, unseen, unimportant, and without a voice. You have watched as others were given platforms and applause, but in the silence and shadows of that obscurity, I was forging in you a character that could handle the immense temptations of a public platform. You learned to find your worth, not in the applause of men, but in the quiet, steady gaze of your loving Father. You learned to be faithful when no one was watching. Now, as I begin to give you a platform, as I begin to amplify your voice, you will not become addicted to the approval of the crowd. You will not change your message to please people. You will be able to stand in the spotlight and point all the glory back to me. Your obscurity was the necessary, hidden preparation for your coming influence. I am calling you now to see your history in an entirely new light. Every scar you bear from your past battles is not a mark of your shameness. It is a radiant jewel in the earthly crown of authority that I am now placing on your head. Your past pain is your resume. Your trials are your credentials. You have been through the fire, and you have been proven worthy not just of a future, heavenly reward, but of a present, earthly stewardship. The long and difficult preparation is now complete. The character has been forged. The capacity has been built. The throne of your earthly purpose, the seat of your influence in your generation, the one I have been preparing for you through all your trials, is now ready. And it is time for you to take your seat. It is time for you to begin to co-reign with me in your sphere of influence, demonstrating my goodness, my wisdom, and my restorative power to a watching world. Your suffering was the price of admission to your new position of influence in the land of the living. You have begun to understand the great and purposeful mystery of your past suffering. You now see that every trial was not just a test to be endured for a future heavenly reward, but was in fact the very process I used to forge your character and build your capacity to reign with delegated authority in this life. You have been prepared for an earthly throne of influence, a place from which you will display my wisdom and my love to your generation. But I know the question that logically follows in your practical and honest heart. You look at your own life, at your depleted resources, at your weary soul, and you wonder, how can a king rule from an empty throne? How can a queen govern over a bankrupt kingdom? I feel I have nothing left. How can I possibly step into this new authority? And your assessment is correct. You cannot do this in your own strength or with your own resources. For so long, you have lived in a state of profound and often painful lack. Your bank account has been a source of constant, low-grade anxiety. Your relationships have at times felt sparse and unfulfilling. Your emotional well has often felt bone dry. Your spirit has felt starved for a tangible sign of my blessing. You have, in many ways, learned to live like a spiritual pauper, surviving on the scraps of yesterday's manna, believing that this state of humble lack was the holy life I required of you. You have even spiritualized your poverty, seeing it as a mark of your detachment from this world. But today, I must correct this noble but mistaken belief. Your lack has never been my ultimate will for you. Your poverty has never brought me glory, while you have been living in a state of earthly depletion. I have been maintaining vast, magnificent, and overflowing storehouses in heaven with your name written on the doors in golden letters. And you must understand the nature of these storehouses. They are not merely filled with the crowns and the mansions that are reserved for you after you die. They are storehouses filled with a specific provision, the tangible joy, the supernatural peace, the divine favor, and the practical resources that are a part of your legal, blood-bought, earthly inheritance as my beloved child for a long and necessary season. These storehouses have been sealed. They have been locked, not to keep you from your inheritance, but to protect you until your character was ready to steward it. But that season of waiting and preparation is now over. And I declare to you today that I'm taking the key of David, the key of my divine and sovereign authority, the key that opens doors no man can shut. And I'm walking down the corridors of heaven to the storehouses that bear your name, and with a sound that echoes through the spiritual realm, I am unlocking those great doors. The release of your earthly inheritance has now begun. let me tell you of the treasures that are now being released to you here in the land of the living. First, I am opening the storehouse of my financial and material provision. I am now breaking the spirit of lack that has harassed your mind and tormented your heart for years. I am releasing a new and unprecedented flow of my resources into your life. You must not look for this in the way the world does. It may not come in the form of a lottery win or a single, dramatic event. It will come through a variety of unexpected channels that will leave you in no doubt of its source. It will come as a new and creative business idea that I will drop into your mind. It will come as a supernatural favor on your work, leading to an unexpected promotion or a bonus. It will come as a surprising check in the mail from a forgotten source, an unexpected inheritance, or a debt that is miraculously canceled. I am moving you, by my grace, from a mindset of just enough to the tangible reality of more than enough. But what is the purpose of this abundance? It is not so that you can hoard it in fear or spend it on frivolous luxuries. It is more than enough so that your own needs will be lavishly met, removing the constant, draining anxiety of survival. And it is more than enough so that you can be transformed from a person who is always in need into a person who is a conduit of my generosity to others. Your finances will no longer be a source of your fear and shame, but a powerful testament to the world of your Father's goodness and his faithful provision. Next, I am opening the storehouse of your joy and laughter. You have endured a long and sorrowful winter. You have forgotten the sound of your own deep, unforced laughter. But I have not. I have a great storehouse in heaven, filled with all the joy and all the laughter that was meant for you during those difficult years. I have been saving it for you, protecting it from the thief who sought to steal it. And now, I am opening that door wide, and I am releasing a veritable flood of my divine joy into your soul. It will be a joy that is not dependent on your circumstances. It will be a joy that bubbles up from the wellspring of my spirit within you, often for no apparent reason. You will find yourself smiling as you walk down the street. You will find yourself feeling a deep sense of contentment and delight in the simplest things. And yes, you will find yourself laughing again, a deep, full body, soul cleansing laugh that you thought was gone from you forever. This joy, my child, will be your supernatural strength, and it will be a powerful, attractive witness to a sad and weary world that is starving for a joy that is real. I am also opening the storehouse of your divine relationships. You have known the profound pain of loneliness, of feeling misunderstood, of broken and toxic relationships. But I am a God who sets the lonely in families, and in my heavenly storehouse, I have been keeping in reserve the divine connections and the covenant friendships that I have planned for you from the beginning. And now, I am opening that door and releasing these people into your life. You will begin to meet new, life-giving friends who will see the real you, who will celebrate your destiny, and who will run with you in your purpose. I will bring a supernatural restoration to broken family relationships where it is my redemptive will. I will surround you with the community of love, honor, and mutual encouragement that will be a taste of heaven on earth. You will move from a season of relational lack and disappointment into a season of profound, joyful, and life-giving connection. And finally, I am opening the great storehouse of my divine favor. Favor is my supernatural influence resting upon you. It is the oil that makes things work with an inexplicable ease. It is the force that causes people to like you, to want to help you, and to open doors for you that you are not qualified for on your own for a long season. It has felt like you have had to push and strive for every single thing in your life. It has felt like you are swimming upstream against a powerful current. But now, that is changing. I am opening the storehouse of my favor, and I am pouring it out over your life. You will find that doors that were once firmly locked to you will now swing open with an almost startling ease. People who were once opposed to you or indifferent to you will now suddenly be on your side, wanting to help you advance. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, over and over again. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is a tangible manifestation of my goodness being released over your life in the land of the living. It is my power going before you to make the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth. But my child, you must learn how to receive. You have grown so accustomed to lack that you may. At first, be suspicious of this new abundance. You may feel unworthy of it. You may be tempted to reject it, believing that the old, hard way was more holy. You must resist this poverty mindset. I'm calling you now to learn a new posture. It is the posture of a beloved child, standing before a loving Father with their hands wide open, ready to joyfully and gratefully receive the good gifts that He delights to give you. You must stop praying prayers of desperate begging and start praying prayers of exuberant thanksgiving for the abundant inheritance that is now being released to you. I am not releasing these heavenly storehouses simply for your own comfort or pleasure, though I do delight in those things. I am releasing them to fully equip you for your purpose and to make your life a glorious and undeniable testament to my goodness. Right here on this earth, your abundant life will become a beacon of hope, a sign and a wonder that will prove to a watching, skeptical world that the God you serve is a good, generous, and powerfully restorative Father. Your personal blessing is for my public glory. Prepare your heart, my child. Get ready to receive. I have spoken to you of my heart's deep and passionate desire to display my goodness in your life, not only in the glories of the world to come, but here and now, in this land of the living. I have told you of the heavenly storehouses that are now being opened, releasing a new season of my provision, my joy, and my favor upon you. And yet, I, who know your heart with a perfect intimacy, know the thought that immediately rises within you as you look at the present, and often painful, circumstances of your own life. There is a great and sorrowful disconnect between the glorious promise I have just spoken and the reality you perceive with your own two eyes. You may be saying in your heart, even now, but I do not see this goodness you speak of. I look at my life, and I still see the struggle. I see the lack. I see the broken relationship. I see the chronic pain. Where is this manifest goodness you have promised? This is an honest and valid question, born not of cynicism, but of a deep and weary pain. And I do not fault you for it now. So we must now speak with great tenderness and compassion of the reason for this disconnect. We must speak of the blindness of a wounded heart. My child, your inability in this past season to perceive my goodness has not been a sign of your lack of faith or your rebellion against me. It is a tragic, understandable, and predictable symptom of a soul that has endured a long, dark, and difficult winter of trauma and disappointment. Your suffering, like a slow-growing disease of the eye, has created a kind of spiritual blindness. It is as if thick, cloudy cataracts have formed over the very lenses of your soul, causing everything in your life to appear dim, gray, distorted, and hopeless. A person with physical cataracts is not willfully blind. Their eyes are open, but they simply cannot see clearly because a cloudy, opaque film obstructs their vision, filtering out the light and blurring the details. In the same way, the thick, cloudy film of your past pain, the pervasive haze of your long-held hopelessness, has obstructed your spiritual vision. It has acted as a dark filter, blocking out the gentle light of my smaller, daily blessings, while magnifying the dark shadows of your problems and your fears. The difficult truth is that you haven't seen my goodness yet, not because it has been entirely absent, but because your heart has been too wounded to perceive it clearly. Let us examine the nature of these spiritual cataracts that have clouded your vision. First, and most powerfully, there is the cataract of deep disappointment. Think of your heart's vision as a clear lens. Every time you have prayed for something with great faith and has not come to pass in your timing, every time you have taken a great risk for me and it has ended in what you perceived as failure, it has been like another thin layer of opaque protein forming on that lens. Over the years, layer upon layer of disappointment has accumulated, building upon itself until the lens of your soul, which was once so clear and hopeful, has become thick, clouded, and nearly opaque. Now, even when a small, genuine blessing of my goodness comes to you, its light must first pass through this thick, cloudy filter of your past disappointments. And by the time it reaches your heart, its light is so diffused and so dim that it seems small and insignificant. A small financial blessing comes, but you compare it to the mountain of debt you still have, and your cataract of disappointment dismisses it as meaningless. A kind word is spoken to you, but you compare it to the years of criticism you have endured, and you dismiss it as a fluke. You have been so conditioned by disappointment that you have learned to instinctively mistrust goodness. You see a small light, and your first thought is not, "Thank you, Father," but rather, "This is probably just a cruel trick. It won't last. It will only lead to a greater disappointment down the road. This cataract has blinded you to the small beginnings of my blessing." Next, there is the cataract of trauma. The traumas you have endured, the betrayals, the losses, the abandonments have done more than just cloud your vision. They have rewired your entire spiritual nervous system. They have trained your spiritual eyes to be constantly scanning your environment, not for blessings, but for threats. In your world, this is called hypervigilance. It is the state of a soldier who has been in constant combat for too long. Even when he comes home, his entire system is still wired for danger. He is constantly scanning the rooftops for snipers, listening for the sound of attack. He is so focused on looking for the next potential danger that he is physiologically incapable of seeing and enjoying the peace and beauty of his present surroundings. My child, this has been your spiritual state. You are a soldier of the Spirit, and you have been in a long and arduous battle. And your spiritual eyes are so trained, so focused on looking for the next attack, the next disappointment, the next disaster, that you have become literally blind to the small, beautiful things that are right in front of you. You are so busy scanning the horizon for the next storm cloud that you do not notice the beautiful wildflowers of my quiet goodness that are growing at your very feet. Then there's the cataract of comparison. You have spent so much time looking at the bright, shining, seemingly effortless blessings in the lives of others. You have scrolled through their pictures. You have listened to their testimonies. And you have fixed the eyes of your heart upon their great and glorious portion. And your own eyes have become blinded by the glare. When you then turn from looking at their life to look back at your own, your life appears impossibly dim and dark by comparison. Your constant focus on their noonday sun has made you completely blind to the gentle, beautiful starlight of the unique blessings I have been giving you all along. Comparison has created a thick cataract of envy and discontent that has robbed you of the ability to see and to cherish your own unique portion from my hand. And at the very core of your blindness, there is a cataract of unworthiness. Deep down, in a place you may not even be conscious of, you have believed the accuser's lie that you are not truly worthy of my extravagant goodness. So, when a genuinely good thing does happen in your life, when a door opens, when a provision comes, when a person shows you unexpected kindness, your heart's immediate, reflexive response is, this can't really be for me. There must be some mistake. It's too good to be true. It won't last. You have, in essence, disqualified yourself from receiving my goodness. And so, when it does appear, your mind immediately explains it away as luck, or as a coincidence, or as something you do not truly deserve. You cannot see what you do not. Deep down, believe you are worthy of receiving. But I am the great physician. I am the divine ophthalmologist, the one who makes the blind to see. And I have come to you today not to condemn you for your blindness, but to announce that I am beginning the gentle and supernatural surgery to heal your sight with the sharp but loving scalpel of my living word. I am beginning to break up these spiritual cataracts that have clouded your vision for so long with the gentle, healing tears of my own compassion for you. I am beginning to wash the cloudy film away from the eyes of your soul. You have a part to play in this healing process. You must be willing to have your eyes healed. You must begin to question your own pessimistic perceptions. You must stop trusting your wounded heart's first, negative interpretation of events. When your first instinct is to see a situation through the lens of fear or disappointment, I want you to learn to pause and to ask me, Father, is there a small glimpse of your goodness here that I am missing? Help me to see the situation as you see it. You must start to intentionally, as a discipline, look for the light, however small. Instead of just surrendering to the overwhelming darkness, the surgery has begun. My child, the cloudy film is starting to dissolve. The light is beginning to get through. This is why you are beginning to feel the first faint stirrings of hope in your heart. Soon, the cataracts will be gone completely, and you will look at your life, the very same life, with the very same circumstances, and you'll begin to see it with new, clear, and grateful eyes. You will be astonished to see the subtle beauty, the quiet grace, and the constant, steady stream of my small goodnesses that were there all along, patiently waiting for you to see them. And once your eyes are healed to see the small things, you will be ready to behold the greater, undeniable, and glorious manifestation of my goodness that I am now releasing into your life. The delicate and loving surgery on the eyes of your heart is now complete. The spiritual cataracts of past disappointment, of deep-seated trauma, and of false unworthiness have been broken up and washed away by the powerful and gentle stream of my grace. Your spiritual vision, which for so long had been clouded and dim, is now becoming clear, sharp, and capable of perceiving a new spectrum of light. The long, necessary, and character-forging season of enduring without seeing is now over. And because you have been so faithful in the darkness, I am now entrusting you with the light. The time has come for you to move from a reality of believing in my goodness as a future promise to experiencing it as a present and tangible reality. The time has come for the great unveiling of my goodness in your life. Therefore, I, the Lord of heaven and earth, the God who is rich in mercy and abounding in steadfast love, make this great and glorious declaration over you today. The season of my hidden goodness, the time when my presence was a truth you had to hold on to by blind faith alone, is now ending. And a new season, a new chapter, a new era of your life is now beginning. It is a season of my manifest goodness. I will now make my favor, my blessing, my joy, and my restorative power so visible, so tangible, and so undeniable in your life that even you, in your weakest moments of doubt, will not be able to miss it. The season of simply believing that I am good is over. The season of seeing that I'm good begins now. And what will this unveiling look like? Where will you see this manifest goodness? You will see it in every area of your life. That was once a source of your deepest pain. You will see my goodness unveiled in your relationships. You have known the profound and aching pain of loneliness. You have known the sharp sting of betrayal and the dull ache of being misunderstood. You have felt that your relational life was a barren desert. But now, I'm causing rivers of living water to flow into that desert. You will see my goodness as I begin to surround you with a community of love, honor, and true spiritual friendship. I am now releasing your divine connections into your life, people who will see you, celebrate you, champion your destiny, and love you not for what you can do for them, but for who you are in me. You will see my goodness in the miraculous mending of broken family relationships that you had long given up on. You will witness me soften hearts that were once hard as stone. You will receive the phone call you never thought you would get, the apology you never thought you would hear, and you will feel the tangible warmth of being truly known, truly loved, and truly cherished by a family of the heart that I myself am building around you. The goodness you will see and feel will be the end of your long exile of loneliness. You will see my goodness unveiled in your finances and your work. You have known the crushing weight of financial anxiety. You have known the deep frustration of pouring all your effort into your work with little or no fruit to show for it. You have felt that you were toiling on cursed ground. But now, I am breaking that curse of fruitless labor off your life, and I am releasing a new season of favor and abundance. You will see my goodness as I begin to open doors of opportunity for you that no man can shut. You will see a supernatural favor begin to rest upon your work, causing it to prosper and succeed in ways that defy your own talent and effort. You will see my provision begin to flow to you from the north, the south, the east, and the west. It will come through unexpected channels that have nothing to do with your own striving. A surprising gift, a canceled debt, a creative idea that becomes a stream of income, a promotion you were not expecting. I will move you from the land of just enough into the land of more than enough. And you will finally understand that my desire is not just for you to survive, but for you to thrive, so that you can become a generous conduit of my blessings to a world in need. Your work will no longer be a source of your toil. It will become a source of your joy. You will see my goodness unveiled in your body and your soul. You have known the deep weariness of a body that has been afflicted with pain, and a soul that has been harassed by anxiety, depression, sin, and sorrow. But now, I am releasing my healing virtue into the very fabric of your being. You will begin to see and feel my divine strength replacing your chronic weakness. You will feel a new energy, a new vitality that is not from yourself. You will see my perfect peace stand guard over your heart and your mind like a heavenly sentinel, pushing back the shadows of anxiety and fear that have tormented you for so long. You will see my joy become your daily reality, not a fleeting emotion you have to strive for, but a deep and abiding wellspring of life that bubbles up from your spirit. Your very being will become a walking, talking, breathing testament to my restorative, healing, and life-giving power. And you'll see my goodness unveiled in your purpose and your influence. You have felt hidden, silenced, and without a meaningful purpose for so long. You have felt that your life was small and insignificant. But now, I am taking the lamp of your life, which I have been carefully preparing, and filling with oil in the secret place. And I am placing it on a lampstand for all to see. You will see me begin to open doors for you to use the gifts I have given you. You'll see your words begin to carry a new weight and have a profound and positive impact on the lives of others. You'll see the ministry I have been preparing in your heart begin to flourish and bear fruit. You'll see with your own eyes that your long, painful, and often confusing story is now becoming the very key that unlocks the prison doors for other people. You will move from a sense of meaninglessness to a place of profound and joyful purpose, knowing that your life is making an eternal difference. I am doing all of this, my child, not only for your sake, but for mine. I am doing it so that a watching, cynical, and hopeless world can look at your transformed life and see an undeniable, tangible demonstration of my character. When they see your restored relationships, your supernatural provision, your inexplicable joy, and your purposeful influence, they will not be able to deny that you serve a good, a powerful, and a living God. Your life will be the proof. Your testimony will be the irrefutable evidence. The great unveiling has now begun. The curtain is being pulled back. My goodness is no longer just a future hope. It is a present and unfolding reality in your life. Your work now is simply to open the new eyes I have given you, and to consciously, intentionally look for it, acknowledge it, celebrate it, give thanks for it, testify to it. For the more you see my goodness, the more of my goodness I will be delighted to show you. The days of only hoping to see my goodness are over. The days of actually seeing my goodness have begun. Look, my beloved child, open your eyes and see what your loving Father is now doing for you. Right here, right now, in the land of the living. The great unveiling of my goodness in your life has begun. The curtain has been pulled back. The long season of my hiddenness is over, and the new season of my manifest presence and blessing is upon you. But my child, you must understand that a great and beautiful masterpiece, even when it is brilliantly lit in a gallery, can be completely missed by those who are not looking for it, or by those whose eyes are not trained to see its beauty. It is not enough for me to simply show you my goodness. You must now learn how to see it. We must now speak of the sacred, joyful, and life-altering art of seeing with new eyes. For years, as we have discussed, you have practiced the habit of blindness. Your spiritual eyes, wounded by trauma and disappointment, have been trained to constantly scan your life for problems, for dangers, for what is lacking, for reasons to be afraid. This habit of seeing the negative first is a deep and powerful one. It has been your primary coping mechanism in a world that has brought you so much pain. But you must understand this critical truth. You cannot walk into a new season of manifest blessing while still wearing the dark, distorting glasses of your past. You must now learn a new way to see. You have been given a new, spiritually healed eyes. But like any muscle in your body that has atrophied from long disuse, your new spiritual eyes must be intentionally and consistently exercised in order to grow strong. Learning to see my goodness in the land of the living is not a passive experience that will simply happen to you. It is a holy discipline that you must now cultivate. It is the joyful discipline of actively, consciously, and gratefully acknowledging my goodness in every part of your ordinary day. So how do you practice this new way of seeing? These are your instructions for learning to walk toward the sunrise. First, I want you to begin a new and simple daily practice. It is the discipline of first fruits gratitude. Before your feet even hit the floor in the morning, before your mind has a chance to begin racing with anxieties of the day and rehearsing your list of problems, your very first conscious act must be to find just one thing, to genuinely thank me for. It does not have to be something grand. It can be exquisitely small. Thank me for the warmth of your bed. Thank me for the gift of a new day, a blank page upon which a new story can be written. Thank me for the sound of birds singing outside your window, a testament to the life I sustain. Thank me for the simple fact that there is breath in your lungs. This discipline of giving me the first fruits of your conscious thought before you give your attention to anything else is profoundly powerful. It trains your mind, your heart, and your spirit to begin your day not by looking for your problems, but by looking for my presence and my goodness. It sets the trajectory of your perception for the entire day. It is a small hinge upon which the great door of a joyful and hope-filled day will swing open. Second, I am commissioning you to become a goodness detective. You are to become a holy sleuth. And your primary mission each day is to actively search for the hidden clues and the secret fingerprints of my goodness on the ordinary details of your life. You must intentionally look for them, for they're everywhere. When a parking spot opens up for you at the perfect moment, I want your first thought to be, not, I got lucky, but I see you. Father, thank you. When a friend sends you an encouraging text message at the very moment you are feeling discouraged, I want you to pause and acknowledge that was you, Lord, using them to touch my heart when you taste a delicious meal, or see a beautiful sunset, or laugh at a funny joke. I want you to learn to whisper a quiet, thank you for this specific goodness. Lord, you must train yourself to see my extravagant love hidden in the most mundane moments of your life. The more you intentionally look for my goodness, the more of it you will begin to find. You will discover, to your own astonishment, that your life has not been a barren wasteland at all, but has always been secretly strewn with the small, beautiful jewels of my grace, which you were simply not looking for before. Third, you must learn the power of verbal testimony. When you see one of these instances of my goodness, no matter how small, you must not keep it to yourself. You must give voice to it. The act of speaking it out loud does several powerful things. First, it solidifies the reality of the blessing in your own heart and mind. Second, it releases a sound of praise and thanksgiving into the spiritual atmosphere, a sound that literally pushes back the darkness of despair and cynicism. And third, it builds the faith of those who hear it. So, when I provide for you, tell someone. When I heal something in your body or your heart, share your testimony. When I give you a moment of pure joy, describe it to a friend. When you see one of the signs of your new dawn, you must not hide it under a bowl of fear or false humility. You must put it on a lampstand by speaking of it. A testified to blessing multiplies its own power and releases grace upon all who hear it. Finally, you must learn the most advanced discipline of all reinterpreting your new challenges through the lens of my goodness. I have not promised you a life free from all future challenges. There will still be difficulties. There will still be moments of pressure, but your perception of them must now change. Your old, ingrained habit is that when a new challenge arises, your first thought is, oh no, here we go again. The darkness is returning. The good times are over. You see it as proof that my promise of a hopeful future is false. But with your new eyes, I want you to learn to respond differently when a new challenge comes. I want you to first stand upon the unshakable truth of my goodness, and then, from that place of security, to ask a new set of questions. Okay, Father, this is painful, but I know that you are good and that you are working all things together for my good. So, where is your hidden goodness in this? What are you trying to teach me through this pressure? How are you going to use this very situation to display your glory and advance my destiny? This discipline does not deny the reality of the pain, but it refuses to give the pain the final word. It is a profound act of mature faith that assumes my goodness is at work, even in the midst of a new and difficult trial. As you begin to practice these simple but powerful disciplines, a miracle will happen in your soul. Your entire perception of your life will be transformed. You will begin to see that you are not a forgotten victim of a cruel and random universe, but a deeply cherished child who is being constantly and lovingly showered with thousands of small and large evidences of your Father's goodness. The pervasive, oppressive gray of your old life will be replaced by the vibrant, stunning, technicolor reality of my kingdom. And your heart, which for so long has been a home for hopelessness, will become a garden of joyful, confident, and holy expectation. And so, my beloved, who is now learning to see, this is your new and joyful work. It is the work of walking toward the sunrise, from the agonizing resignation of a soul that had given up on this life, through the revelation of my true intentions for your earthly good, through the masterful redemption of your sorrowful past, to the glorious unveiling of my manifest goodness. I have led you to this moment. And now, the path lies before you. It is a path of light, a path of peace, a path of hope. You do not have to run in a panic. You only have to walk one small, grateful, and observant step at a time. And you do not have to walk alone. I am with you. My hand is in yours. And my greatest delight will now be to walk with you through your days, constantly pointing out the little gifts and the hidden beauties that I have placed along your path just for you. It is a shared journey of discovery. The world you lived in yesterday was filled with my goodness, but you were blind to it. The world you're walking into today is the very same world, but you now have new eyes to see it. See, my child, just open your eyes and see. My goodness is, and has always been, all around you. Welcome, finally, to the land of the living.